Okay, welcome everyone to a new, I wouldn't say a new playthrough, but I'm just doing this video because, you know, it's a brand new game. I wanted to try Sword Art Online Fractured Dream. It's the latest one of the Sword Art Online game series, and it's also kind of an interesting game because it's a game that lets you play as the characters from the series, but also the villains as well. So, with that freedom, comes interesting. Makes it very interesting. Um, and one thing I'm gonna do for this playthrough, well, I wouldn't say a playthrough, but for this video, I'm only showing the first two quests, and the intro will be skipped as well because spoilers. And as you can tell, like, this is post-recording on the Share Factory screen. Hopefully you enjoy this because it's the first time I'm doing this format. So I'm just gonna put my controller down and I'm gonna put it there because it's in plain view that I'm not playing. But like this, so it'd be almost like a post commentary type thing of me doing, I think, the first two quests of the game. And I did this last night, when the game was available for everyone, pretty late, like about 9-10 p.m. my time in the UK. So yeah, I wasn't really thinking that much. And I think when I played the first mission, I, like, as you can see, I'm just rushing down trying to get to the objectives and just like beat it as quickly as I can, and I wanted to get right into the story beats. And yeah, pretty much it's just tutorial stuff of how to play the game, how to attack, etc. And I actually kind of like the game. Tells you like its controls on the top left. The other thing the game will do, which we will see, it does have new elements to do actually add or change features from previous games onto this one in a way that is, I would say, very unique and very fun. And what I mean is, they actually get you to use your skills and stuff like you do in the previous games, but every character has is labeled under a different class feature, which I think is kind of neat and also unique for the game to have. So, for instance, Kirito is considered a fighter class, but you have a character like, let's say, for example, Argo. And Argo would be considered a rogue. And then you have a character like Xenon, who would be considered a range character, I think, or even a rogue in their own right. But then you have a character like Administrator, Quinella, and she would be considered, a mage, because sacred skills and stuff from Underworld. Also, if you're wondering what I'm setting on and like all the flashing lights and stuff, I got a new gaming chair over a couple of weeks, and I'm just basically breaking this in a little bit. And I kind of want to have the lights on, so at least I have like something going on in the back while I'm doing this commentary here. But yeah, pretty much it's just a straight up tutorial, how to play the game, how to get quests and stuff. The mod feature is pretty neat, where you can collect mods to like change your stats, and it's temporary, but you can only have one. So you actually do have to think, like, do I want more health, or do I want to do more damage, or do I want like my cooldowns to be faster? And I think that's an element to the game when it comes to the treasure chests, like the risk reward aspect, that I kind of like. And obviously this was the tutorial to use your ultimate attack, and I just decided I'm not using it yet. I'm just deciding I'm not going to use it until I get to like a boss or like the last quest enemy and stuff. Oh jeez. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like the first proper cutscene in the game, and I always do this. I let the Japanese voices, or I let the voices just speak while I let them play out, which I think is fair. Of course, I'm talking over it right now in post commentary, but for all intents and purposes, this is just like basic SAO gaming terms and stuff like that. And there is a little twist at the end of this cutscene, which I will, chime in on afterwards.
待たせたかしら、キリト。
お、来たか。時間ぴったりだ。約束通り、アレブヘイムオンラインの世界を案内するよ。ああ、そうだ。その前にちょっと寄り道していいか。
別に構わないけど、どこへ？
俺の仲間たちに紹介しとこうと思って。ちょうど今集まってるみたいだし。じゃ、行こうか。クイネラ。
Vanilla? She's in this? What? I don't believe it. Why is she in, like, ALO of all places? But yeah, nice little twist. Vanilla is with Kirito here, and I was playing it last night and I saw that. But my initial reaction was just like, the fuck? You're not meant to be around. Like, you're either dead or, like, like gone, I think was the term I used. But yeah, so the rest of this is just like playing with a team with a full party of 4, and unfortunately I am stuck playing Kirito, so I don't get a chance to switch and play with Igil or switch and play with Lifa or Liz or Lisbeth at this point, but there is a feature which I'm just trying to move here. There is a feature that we will get to that I do kind of like and will be a fun old thing when it comes to multiplayer. I'm not so sure if I want to make this like a proper series or stuff, me going through the story, because I kind of just want to play that. But if I want to do like co-op missions with friends, or like even just going online and doing some stuff, I'm tempted to make videos on it and, put it in the Share Factory. But again, that's if people want it. So I would say let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos of me playing this game, with the online feature, or do you want me to, show like almost highlights of the story without spoilers, or highlights of my playthrough, which I kind of would want to do like a little highlight reel stuff, because I think that's easier for me to use Share Factory for, and it wouldn't be too taxing on the memory on my PlayStation, which is one of the reasons why I have, I'm going to get this right now, inside the shop, a 5TB hard drive. I've got this purely for to get more games on my PlayStation so I can play. So at the moment, I think I've got like all my Assassin's Creed games are on that. All my fighting games that I'm playing at the moment, they're on that. Like the Marvel vs. Capcom games are on it. I'm going to put on Tekken 8's there, Mortal Kombat 1's there. I'm going to actually add some more in the coming days and weeks. The reason why I'm doing that is just so I have more memory, more safety when it comes to, tracking progress and stuff. So, for instance, the RPG playthroughs I've been doing at the moment, they are on that hard drive as well. So I am taking a break from SMT5. I will get back to that, but it's just I'm in a very grindy part of the game, and I don't want to like rush into story and get myself caught in a loop or caught in like a difficulty spike where I can't get out of, or I'm trapped. So I'm going to be very careful, very meticulous, which I don't like playing like that. But I'm going to do it for that playthrough, and I'm going to leave that to much later when I have some free time, because we're in the middle of a big gaming season at the moment. So, for instance, this game came out, we had the Tekken 8 story DLC, which I did a few days ago. And then last week we also had the story DLC for Mortal Kombat 1, which I did. Essentially, I'm just doing like a brief little, or kind of like a 1 hour overview, but like what's going on with the channel while this is happening. And yeah, I've just been busy doing that stuff. And I've got some other games I want to do. Like, I'm torn between doing Until Dawn, because I know that game's going to be a lot of fun to do, especially with the remake. But the other one is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and we just hit the boss here. So yeah, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is another game that I would want to play, but with it being a Dragon Ball game, I'm always worried about copyright with Dragon Ball. So that's why I'm tentative on it. And I will be honest, I kind of could leave that for a good while before jumping into it. Mainly because it's a lot of retracking stuff I've done in the past. Like, anyone who's played a Dragon Ball game knows the games and knows how to play and pretty much knows the story back to the back of their hands. So that's where I'm kind of hesitant on doing Sparking Zero. Not because it's not going to be fun, but because it's a lot of retreading water. And yes, I know there's the feature of, like, you know, you can make things different in certain scenarios, which I do like, but I don't know whether or not people want just the canon stuff, or people want me to just make videos of branching out. So this is the new system. By the way, this is the new system I was talking about when it comes to multiplayer. So there's a counter system that they've got where you have to press R3 when you get into these circles to get a synchro counter, I think is what it's called. And the idea is you want to be in the gold rings to do the counter. Everyone gets that and you can get it. But if everyone gets in every single ring, including the purple ones, you get the perfect counter, which immediately gets them in situations where you can do your switch combos and like really do some significant damage, like I did. But yeah, this is all this boss pretty much was. Tutorial, just to show sequences and show you know, how you're going to tackle bosses and how you're going to tackle you know, enemies like this going forward. I will admit one thing I'm kind of annoyed by: the fact that the boss didn't die by that ultimate, but I still got the last hit in, so I can give that a thumbs up. And yeah, that's the first quest, believe it or not, of the game. Just straight up tutorial stuff. And the second one, which is a part of this video, pretty much more the same, but we get to play a different character, if I remember correctly. And yeah, like, this is pretty much how the game is. Like, you select your quest, you select your mission, so to speak, and you go through the mission, and you want to get the highest ranks possible. They've also done a system where if you go on easy mode, you cannot get S ranks, or I think the highest you can get probably is a B, or even A, because I think A ranks might be locked, and S ranks might be locked out too. And that's an interesting feature because it makes me want to replay it on normal mode to try and get that rank, which I might do off stream, because one of the trophies is beating the game on S with S ranks. And it's the same with co-op quests and everything, so I kind of want to make sure I have like 2 or 3 people that are playing this game that I can trust, that are local or, you know, in the same region, so we can easily join up, play the game, get through the quest, But yeah, that's just what I've been doing with this game, and I enjoyed it last night playing this hour portion ish, and yeah, there's not much else I could talk about the game. But yeah, as I was saying about Sparking Zero, so that's one which, like I said, I could take or leave, or I could hold off on because it's a lot of retreading water when it comes to Dragon Ball. But the other game that is coming out, there's a couple of games coming out this month that I kind of want to play, like the new Atlas game, Metaphor. That one looks pretty interesting, unique, and I always like an Atlas game because they're always pushing the boat out one way or another, whether it's combat, whether it's story, whether it's innovation of gameplay. That's why I always enjoy them. And the other aspect, like the other game coming out at the end of the month, Dragon Age. Yeah, new Dragon Age comes out the end of October. So those are games I'm kind of excited about, and obviously one that I was going to be excited about doing on the channel was Assassin's Creed Shadows. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm waiting until February to play that game because the game's been delayed by 3 months because it's not up to standard. I think that's entirely fair, honestly. If Ubisoft aren't happy with it, don't release it. Make sure it's perfect. That's all I ask. Make sure the game runs well, make sure the story is good, make sure the gameplay is as smooth as can be, and I don't think most Assassin's Creed fans would complain afterwards. There will be some negligent ones, but as long as the game runs smooth, as long as the gameplay is fun, and as long as the story is compelling for an Assassin's Creed game, I think that's all the fan base, me included, kind of want. Hold on a minute. I had a cough there. And yeah, that was just some of the things I wanted to talk about, so to speak, while this video is going on. I don't remember, is there any other gaming news or YouTube news that I could talk about? Top my head. So yeah, one thing I was gonna do, and I'm actually gonna do this because it's an idea I've had floating around the head for a bit. Since I've been playing Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, and I've been playing the heck out of the game and I've been enjoying it, I do want to post some arcade runs of the game, and I do want to face like the bosses and stuff. But I don't just want to do that, I want to make it challenging and I want to make it interesting. Sorry, I've got a bit off today, unfortunately. And one of the things I was thinking about, since I haven't done this in a few years, and the last time I did it was Soul Calibur 6, and that video kinda did well for me a little bit when it first came out, was a boss rage. And what I mean by a boss rage, anyone who's watched Maximilian Dude's videos, they know what they are, like the arcade run to get to the final boss of the arcade mode and beat the boss on highest difficulty. I want to do that a little different, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go for an arcade run. I will fight the boss on the hardest difficulty, but in particular, I will do it with a character that I am the least, I would say I'm the worst with. So I'm going to use the character I am the worst with, going up against the boss of the game on the hardest difficulty, and basically watch it be like a 30 to 40 minute run of me raging, because that's what's going to happen. And like, for example, what that would mean is I've done all the arcade runs with X-Men Children of the Atom. So I know which characters I'm good with and know which characters I'm not good with. So if I would do a boss race on that game, basically means I will be facing Magneto on the hardest difficulty with Spiral. And why Spiral in particular? She's the only character I used that got me a death. Every other character I went flawless with. Spiral was the one I didn't. So it would be like that, for example. Anyway, so that's the first mission done. And now we are at essentially the main menu. And I think for the rest of this little clip, until we get to like the next mission, so to speak, or the next quest, as you can see, the way the game is formatted, it is formatted in like story quests, multiplayer quests, and they like to split them up, and I actually kind of like that a lot. But that's just how the game is going to be in this, and I kind of like that because it means the missions aren't going to take too long. It means they are segmented, and you only have to play certain characters in the story mode. But when you go to multiplayer or free play, you get to pick whoever you want, so it gives you that freedom afterwards. Hopefully, think of it like the Pirate Warrior games, or the like the Warrior games, that Dynasty Warriors and stuff like that, where you get to play as story characters and then you can free play it. Hopefully it's like that. But yeah, this is the main menu, and I think we're about to see one of the things I don't like about this game coming up. Sorry. So yeah, we've got an event going on, which I do not know if I can do anything with. But yeah, here's something that I don't like coming up. So we got obviously the character list that tells you like what classes everyone's got, but more in particular, like what characters are available, what classes are in the game, and stuff like that. Obviously, you got your equipment stuff, which is usually the case in RPGs. And I actually kind of like the rarity system. So on easy mode, one of the things they do, you can only get common and uncommon loot. So you can't get rare loot on easy mode. So you have to, it almost like gives you an incentive to play on normal, which I kind of like. And yeah, they give you emotes, they give you like, you know, emotes, they give you badges, they give you like all the typical multiplayer stuff people like to mess around with. I'm not one that does, but eventually when I get some new stuff, I might dabble in it. But very rarely do I. I mainly like to talk with them using the microphone stuff instead. And obviously you get your crafting system in SAO, so you get that Igil. And then obviously it's your inventory, which again, it's pretty basic. It's stuff that everyone kind of has, everyone kind of loves and hates sometimes. But it's all, you know, straightforward stuff. And I'm just having a ball looking at all the weapons because like they've got all the weapons from every character. Just I haven't unlocked them yet. And here's the thing that I don't like. So we've got season pass stuff. I hate season pass stuff because basically means that eventually it's pay to win. And I don't like that pay to win system, even though it's for like unique weapons or attires or whatever. It feels cheap to add a season pass thing to an SAO game. Basically, it's inviting the pay to win aspect, which is something I don't like. And because of this, we are now going to see the other thing that I don't like about this game a little bit. Like I brought up the season pass thing, which I'm not a fan of. Here's the other thing about it. So because of that season pass, we've got a shop, which means we got microtransactions, which I loathe again because essentially it's pay to win or pay to get costumes that probably would do some busted stuff, or it's just cosmetic stuff that does nothing significant whatsoever, which makes me just go, then why did I spend money on it if it's not going to give me a boost or it's just there for flash? Like, if I want it for flash, I won't be playing a game like this where I would be playing something else that is specifically designed to give you more costumes purely for the design or purely for a different costume. That's what Dead or Alive got away with for the longest time, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. So yeah, that's the systems of this game that I'm generally not a fan of, and I think at this point I was going to take a break, and I jumped in when I got the second quest, which is what we're doing right now. So quest 2, Administrator. Also, if you're wondering, this is like the first proper story aspect of the game, which is why I wanted to show it. Also, the other thing, this will have the game intro, but because I'm using the recording system on PlayStation, we won't be getting it. It just cuts it, which is perfectly fine because it means I won't get hit with the copyright strikes or anything like that. I'm probably going to get a copyright claim at best, because one thing I didn't do, and I realized I could have done this at the end of this video, I didn't put on streamer music. And I think with me realizing that now, there's a good chance this is still going to get the flag. But then again, if they're cutting that intro and the music being played is game music and not like copyright specific music, I think we might be okay. Again, I don't know. I can always mute the segments if I need to. It also basically means if I do that, you won't hear me talking. You would just get, mute, and I'm just gonna talk. You guys won't hear what I'm saying, which will be awkward. But yeah, that's just some of the things I want to say. I know with this game, in this mission, we don't get to play Kirito. If you saw the name of the quest, it was called Administrator, which means we're playing as Quinella. We're playing Administrator for this mission. And this was one of the bits of the game that I was pleasantly excited for, because the idea of playing as the villains in the story mode intrigued me it very, very much did intrigue me, because I want to play with characters like Heathcliff. I want to play characters like Def Gun, and I want to play characters like Administrator. So that gives me some excitement. It also gives you the chance to play the characters from the previous SAO games that have been around. So I can play Sion, I can play as Sion, I can play as Kirito, I can play as Igil, I can play as Argo, I can play as Yuki eventually, I could play as Asuna eventually, and I could also play as the Gungale, like the SAO alternative characters I think are in the game. So yeah, I could play those characters, I could play as Yujiro, and I could play as Alice, and I'm always down to play those characters because they're the ones that intrigue me. They're the ones that are the reason why I like SAO. People like it because you like it because it's fan service, or you like it because it's a gamer anime, and to an extent it is, but the story always intrigues me because it's all about virtual reality, it's all about VR, and they were doing a VR story about getting trapped in the video game, and then I was getting really into that, and then we're talking like 3 or 4 years later, PlayStation announced PlayStation VR, and I got the VR headset. I still have it in my bedroom and stuff, like connected to my PS4. And I always was like, oh god, the worst case scenario would be people have put on the VR headset and they constantly are just playing video games in VR. So in a way, they're trapped in the video game. It's the SAO syndrome, as I like to call it, as a joke. And, obviously that didn't happen, but I like to think of it as a joke. Also, this is like the main cutscene that I kind of like about this game.
おい
I
何すんだ
this cutscene was so fun watching last night. I do remember this.
リアルワールドのはずなのに
And in case anyone's wondering, I will be playing more of this game once I'm done with this. But I'm just gonna take my time and chill while I'm doing it. I am waiting for the clash where I'm like, and there's a thumbnail.
俺とあんたはかつてこうして戦った
There's the thumbnail.
あとミニストレート
Like, I could have made that the thumbnail, but I didn't want to. I wanted to do the clash one instead because I like the look of clashes. One thing SEO does well, like the sword on sword
仮想世界の中
clash battles are always fun. And yeah, this is something which I'm noticing now doing this commentary that I didn't notice when I was playing last night. So yeah, Kirito's back to his SAO attire. Not his ALO stuff, he's back to his SAO stuff. And administrators obviously in our alicization, like her underworld attire. So that's another thing, is like not only are you going to play as the characters, but you're going to be playing certain versions of characters depending on what attire they're wearing. So that will be their playstyle. So that's another aspect that I kind of like about this game. Like, they are essentially picking from all the different arcs and like mashing them all together. So you could have like Kirito here in the SAO gear, but you could have Asuna in like the ALO gear. So she'd play like her ALO counterpart rather than her SAO counterpart. And then you could have Xenon in the GGO attire, which means she's going to be sniping and using guns rather than swords or magic. And then you have like characters like Alice and Yujiro that are going to be doing like the underworld stuff. So it's a bit of everything, which for a final SAO game, which apparently this might be, for a 10th anniversary game, just mashing all the arcs, throwing them in the blender essentially, and you get to play as their favorite characters or favorite villains. But it's not every version, it's just a specific version of the character. That's interesting because some people might like Kirito, but they might want to play Kirito from Gungil Online. He's not available, so if you want to play Kirito, you're stuck with SAO version. You're not with the Gungil version, or the ALO version, or even the Underworld version. So you kind of have to almost suck it up and play the character you're dealt with in a way, unless you like other characters. Like for me, I know my favorite characters are in the game, and but I don't know what version of them are going to be, and I don't know what type of them are going to be either. So I know, for example, Administrator's going to be a mage, and obviously she's going to have abilities similar to the ALO cast because she can fly. But she also has the sacred art system and stuff from Underworld, so she's a very unique character, which kind of makes you want to play as the villains more. And I'm curious how Heathcliff's going to play, and I'm curious how Oberon's going to play, even though I hate the creepy guy. He's probably going to be busted. Defcon's going to be probably busted too. And that's the thing, the villains are going to be busted, the heroes are going to be busted in one way, but you kind of need a full party of 4 to balance it out on multiplayer, or to make it work, so to speak. And that's the thing I'm kind of excited about. And no, one thing they are focusing on in this game is multiplayer, because you can play up to 20 people in a party and go after raid bosses, and that's something I kind of want to do down the line when I play more of the game. I want to go through raid bosses and stuff with 20 people, but question is, like, are they going to be able to have 20 people at a time online in a server? And I've got shitty internet, so I don't even know if my internet's going to cut that. So I gotta make assumptions that maybe that might not work for me, and maybe narrow my expectations a little bit to start with and build up from there. Hopefully by the time we do the raid bosses, they're still around and there's still a fan base that's playing this game. Because if this one is missed, I will admit it's going to be a sleeper hit if it does well. And if it doesn't, it's going to be a forgetful title, which again, I kind of don't want that to happen with SAO. Because Fatal Bullet is such a great game on Switch and such a great game on PlayStation. Like, I've done the full playthrough with a friend of mine on Switch. And I've done the playthrough on my own channel, like on my own, on PlayStation. And I've loved that game to death at times. And I know the other SAO games can be hit and miss because of the aspects of the gameplay. It might not be for them, but it's key to how the games work, because it's how the story works, it's how the manga is. So that's what they lean to. They lean towards what they've done in the anime, what they've done in the manga, but do their own twist for the game. So it's not in canon with the main storyline or the main timeline. I always consider the SAO games as a what-if scenario. Like, what if they didn't get out of floor 76 in Minecraft? What if they had to go through the other 25 floors? You know what I mean? What if, what if Kirito wasn't the main guy in Gun-Gil Online? And what if, a random guy was the main focus? And that's what Fatal Bullet does. That type of deal, where they put in the scenario and change it up the rest. Like, keep the recipe as it is in the game, as it is in the art. But change up the story, change it up where they do twists that you don't expect. Like, for instance, we're now playing as Quinella, when normally I don't think we get to play the villains in the games. Which is kind of one of the big selling points of this game, is you not only get to play as the heroes, you get to play as main characters that you know. You also get to play as the villains you know and love to hate. I won't lie, I don't think every villain's available, because if I remember correctly, and by the way, this did skip the anime intro. Administrator, Heathcliff, Oberon, and Defcon are available right off the bat. Gabriel is shown in the anime intro, but he's not playable, or he is probably involved in the story in some way, shape, or form, but he is not a playable character. For now, he might be a playable character later on, because we got a season pass, we've got, we've got DLC coming, which means more characters are going to be included. It's usually the case with SAO, and usually they like to add their DLC expansions to their games, which again gets people to keep playing it, which I don't mind. I'm actually all for. But my criticism of this game is not about the gameplay, it's not about the story, it's not about even the visualization, because the game looks great, gameplay smooth. My critiques are mainly over the aspects of, you have a season pass system, which I loathe, and you've got a microtransaction system, which I loathe, because essentially it starts to enable the aspect of pay to win, which I really I'm not a fan of. But then again, the microtransaction thing might just be cosmetic. It might just be me making a mountain out of a molehill, so to speak. But if the season pass is like a pay to win feature, where like you have to get this, you have to do this in order to get like the best weapons in the game quickly, that's a system I don't like, because again, you're just inviting people to spend money, to spend time playing the game, but not play the game the way it's probably meant to be intended, which I'm kind of always against. I mean, Tekken even have done it with their season pass systems, but at least for them, it's cosmetic and it's just
降りるわ
like customization stuff. It's nothing significant in terms of like, oh, buy the season pass and then all of a sudden, like, Kazuya will do like 2 times more damage than he normally does. It's not like that system where it's busted. It's more like it's just cosmetics, which I'm fine with. I mean, even Street Fighter does it for cosmetics, and I'm fine with it. But they also add like soundtracks and things that you can add to the game, which again is fine. But you then start to think, do I really want to spend 20, 30 quid every 2 to 3 months on a game that I'm probably going to play at best maybe 2 or 3 hours just to get the season pass stuff? And even then, like, you're spending 30, 40 bucks,
見つけたわ
and when you do for the season pass, you're doing it to get the vouchers or to get the skip-ons to get up the season pass thing as quickly as possible. In other words, you're not really playing the games. Like, that's something I've noticed, which is why I don't do season pass stuff. I try my best to avoid it.
何事も試してみないとね
Like, I try my best to avoid it now. But that is a vice that is very, very
出なさい
concerning. As that's a vice that a lot of people tend to go for. And I'll admit to it, like, I've done it in the past. Like, I've done it with I've done it with Street Fighter, I've done it with Tekken, but now I'm at the point where I'm more or less not doing that. Like, when I get the Ultimate Edition of games, I get it with the expectation of being able to get what I want. And by the way, I just finished that quest. It just talked all the way through that mission, and I shouldn't have done that, but I just did. Because I got on the rant. I got to a monologue. but yeah, that's just something that I know people tend to do.
これは使えそう
And I know one of my personal gripes is at the moment now is season passes, is microtransactions. Because if you buy the Ultimate Edition, I'm expecting to get everything in the game. So the idea of getting an Ultimate Edition and then discovering that you've got all the additional stuff, you got the soundtrack, you got the artwork, but now you have to pay extra to get into the season pass. I see that as dishonesty. I see that as a way to make more money out of people that really have already given you a lot of money in general getting the games. I find that as dishonesty. I really do, and I really don't like that. But yeah, so now that I beat that quest, one thing that I think I'm doing now, and you see the level up system, like you get a player level up, so how well you are playing, and then a character level up for how well that character's, going to level up and stuff.
いや世界だ
So yeah, it is an interesting feature.
そういえばこち
It
らの
also means
は
a ton of replayability when it comes to multiplayer and when it comes to other characters. It's just gonna happen.
ペナルティーがないわけじゃないんだよ
But yeah,
死を喜ぶやつは
that's just some of the gripes I've got mainly by season passes. Like, one of the things I'm annoyed by, and I trust me, you saw me when I did a video on it not too long ago.
ここでやられると一体どうなってしまう
Star Wars,
用心しておこう
Star Wars Outlaws. I was very annoyed at that game because that game did not play very well.
ああ
And
何十人かでかからないと倒せないようなの
the game doesn't play very well. You're doing season passes, you're doing like expansions and stuff. I just hope when those expansions come out and you do your updates for that game, the game is worth it. But then again, with the sales it's done, I honestly wonder if Ubisoft are going to
俺があんたの
just bring out those expansions and just don't think about, cleaning up the issues the game's got. Because there's something about the stealth requirements in a Star Wars game that I really don't like. Like, I really hate the idea that enemies can find you while you're in cover. I hate the idea that they can see you while you're in cover, while you are meant to be undetected. They can see you. That is always a frustrating thing in a stealth environment, in a stealth game. And yeah, that was one of my main reasons why I haven't done any videos on the game. I don't want to do videos on it because the stealth pisses me off too much. And I know that is not fun watching. Someone spend like hours trying to do a stealth section, trying to be sneaky. Like, that should be a 5-10 minute thing max. That should not take 30 to 60 minutes, especially for a simple section. But yeah, so now that I've done Administrator, we are now available to play with 6 characters from Kirito to, I want to say that's, yeah, I want to say it's Argo? No, I'm not sure. But yeah, each one is like, you got the first character for each class, so to speak. So if you want to go multiplayer, you can go multiplayer. And yeah, range characters are in the game. So yeah, Sinon has a gun. And I kind of like Sinon with a gun. Also, if you're wondering, how do I beat SAO games when I'm stuck with Kirito? I always have Sinon in the party because range attacks are busted. And the idea that you can play as them always makes me happy because I always like to go range. When I don't want to hack and slash, I will do a range attack. I would go range and I will be a menace. I think it's the word I'm going to use. I'm trying my best not to swear. Well, but yeah, being a menace, I think would be the term I want to use. So yeah, this I think is just all I've got in the video. So the rest is just me looking at equipment, putting stuff on characters that probably need it. And yeah, I think this was the end of the video for the most part. So I guess I should wrap this up a little bit since I've been talking for nearly an hour. Hopefully you enjoyed this video of Sword Art Online Fractured Dream. Oh, sorry, Fractured Daydream. Get the name right, Curtis. Get the name right, Chieftain. You know what the game is. Sword Art Online Fractured Dream. I said it again. Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. Fractured Daydream, not Fractured Dream. I always want to say Fractured Dream because it's quicker. It's Sword Art Online SAO Fractured Daydream. There you go. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do another video on this. Like I said, if I'm going to make more videos on this game, I probably am going to do it as a highlight. I'm probably just going to do highlight videos. But hey, if you guys want to see me tackle some of the bosses or tackle Pacific bosses after I beat the story and stuff, I'm probably down to do that with this game because raid bosses are going to take some time. They're usually fun to play, especially with a party of 20 or 100 players in the classics. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. I have fun talking for the longest time. And yeah, I'll see you guys, I guess, next time when I'm playing another game. I might play Until Dawn next. I might play the new Dragon Ball game when that comes out. I might even play Dragon Age by the time that comes out. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. It's like I said, it's just I'm busy at the moment with my stuff, so I don't really have a schedule. Which, by the way, I should have a schedule when I do YouTube stuff, but I don't, mainly because I like to go with the flow, so to speak, and just chill out and just know everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be chill. So I know that second mission was on easy mode. I will be playing that again on normal so I can get that S rank. But hey, like I said, hopefully you enjoyed this. I've had fun talking. And I guess I'll see you guys next time on the channel. And now I'm on the settings, and not there it is. This is me realizing I don't have the copyright music off. I'm an idiot. This is me basically face palming. When I noticed that, I know it was going to be in here, and I just saw it. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this little commentary. I'm hoping this goes unedited, or goes like without any copyright claims or strikes. Because if there is, the video's going to go down, which means it's not going to be public, period. I'm just going to not do it. I just wasted time that I really, really shouldn't have done. But anyway, like I said, hopefully you enjoy this. And I'll see you guys next time for whatever is next on the channel. Yeah, I think now I'm just looking at like the multiplayer stuff when I really should have just wrapped up. I do like to get carried away sometimes. But then I want to see all the features. I want to see what everything does. And I think that's what everyone wants. I want to see, like, how do you do this? How do you edit this? How do you do that? How do you do this? And I'm kind of showing it. And I don't mind doing that. But yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna see you guys next time when I make another video. Either on this game or on whatever game I decided to put on the channel. I know my fighting games and stuff have done well. I know Vampire Survivors has done well, so I might do another one on that. But again, hopefully you enjoy this. I'll see you guys.